My husband's nanny decided she was the real woman of the house, so I let her have exactly what she wanted in a way that destroyed her career. I've had an intruder in my home since my son turned 2, our nanny, Bridget. When I bought new kitchen towels, she replaced them with ones that functioned better. When I arranged the playroom, she reorganized it because my system was confusing for child development. When I meal planned for the week, she threw out my lists and created her own, because mine lacked proper nutrition awareness. It started professionally, almost helpful, like when she suggested a different laundry detergent for my son's sensitive skin. She even bought it herself, and I appreciated the initiative. But within 6 months, it became territorial. I hung family photos in the hallway. Bridget took them down and created a developmental milestone wall, with pictures of just her and my son Caleb. I painted the guest bathroom blue. I came home to find it repainted beige because cool tones affect children's mood regulation. When I bought Caleb a train set, she returned it and bought educational blocks because imaginative play without structure creates anxiety. Then my husband Jerome pulled me aside one evening. "You need to stop undermining Bridget. She's trying to create stability for Caleb, and your constant changes are confusing him. She says you're territorial about her expertise." I had never undermined anyone. This was my house. 8 months later, I was planning Caleb's 3rd birthday party. I'd booked a small petting zoo, ordered a dinosaur cake, and invited 12 families. The Wednesday before the party, I came home to find everything canceled. Bridget had called every vendor claiming to be Mrs. Hoffman and changed everything. She'd booked a classical musician, ordered an organic sugar-free cake, and reduced the guest list to 4 children because overstimulation at this age creates behavioral issues. But the worst part came when I found her in my bedroom. She was going through my closet, sorting my clothes into donation piles. "Jerome asked me to help update your wardrobe. These mommy clothes aren't professional enough for the company events. Don't worry, I've ordered appropriate replacements." She'd used my credit card to buy 15 outfits in her style. That's when I heard her on the phone with another nanny. Once the wife accepts that I run things better, these positions become very lucrative. The Hoffmans already rely on me completely. Jerome doesn't even ask her about Caleb anymore. Another year and I'll have them convinced they need me full-time with live-in accommodations and a salary increase. That's when I decided to give Bridget exactly what she wanted: complete control of a household. I started complaining to Jerome about feeling overwhelmed. I mentioned how capable Bridget was and how maybe we needed more help. I suggested she move into our guest suite temporarily to help with Caleb's difficult phase. Bridget was thrilled and immediately accepted. Within a week, she'd redecorated the entire guest wing and started joining us for dinners. I then started mentioning my friend Rebecca's family to Bridget. Rebecca was going through a messy divorce and desperately needed a nanny for her 4 children. But here's what made it perfect. Rebecca's ex-husband was a prominent businessman who'd hidden cameras throughout their house for the custody battle. Everything in those homes was being recorded for the court. I told Bridget that Rebecca was looking for someone exactly like her, someone who could take charge completely, because Rebecca was too scattered to manage anything herself. I mentioned the salary, double what we paid. I showed Bridget photos of Rebecca's mansion, emphasizing how the children had no structure, no schedules, and the house was crying out for someone to take control. Bridget took the bait instantly. She interviewed with Rebecca and, true to form, immediately started criticizing everything. She told Rebecca her parenting was damaging the children. She threw out Rebecca's furniture during the interview because it was psychologically harmful. She even called Rebecca's lawyer to discuss getting power of attorney over household decisions. What Bridget didn't know was that every word was being recorded. Every action is documented. Within 2 days, she was fired, and the footage was submitted to the nanny agency she worked through. They revoked her certifications for unprofessional conduct and blacklisted her from their network. Rebecca's ex-husband's lawyer even posted excerpts online as examples of dangerous childcare providers. Bridget showed up at my door sobbing. "You knew about the cameras. You knew they were documenting everything." I just smiled and said I'd simply mentioned an opportunity. She chose to behave how she always did. 6 months later, Bridget was working retail, unable to get a single nanny reference. She tells everyone I sabotaged her, but with video evidence of her behavior, no family will touch her. My house is finally mine again.